Good afternoon. How are we this afternoon? Good? All right. This is relatively a short retreat, and sometimes the longer ones, I've noticed, will go through certain sort of emotional ride where they come and they feel really good, and then it kind of dips down, and then some emotions come up, and they, might stay there for a little bit of time, and then they do a breakthrough, and then they come back up again. So it's been 2.5 years, and I actually can't remember what a short one's like. But if I think about it, there's not too much emotion that'll dip you down. But even if it did, it's not a problem. Only the mind will make it into a problem. The mind will make it into some sort of judgment that, could say anything. I've been doing this for so long, I should be better than this. Shouldn't have to go through this again. Whatever. And it's interesting that our emotions are so influenced, perhaps by other people, other people's energy, or just the environment. It could be anything. I remember, I can't remember when it was, what year it was, but it was a long time ago. Something was happening, or somewhere, and I can't remember what it was, but I just remember being at an event, and I could feel that energy just come in, and I'm like, wow, there's no boundaries when it comes to energy. No boundaries at all. And really the only thing that we can really do is stay alert, stay present, and kind of clean our bamboo flute so that it doesn't activate us in the same way. So we would always maybe feel it, but we know that it doesn't belong to us. Otherwise, what will happen is that energy, if you're not alert enough, not present enough, it will just somehow tap in and touch you in the right place, where then you become reactive to that pain body energy. And we know that every pain body energy loves to feed. So it will feed on other people's pain. Even if it's laying dormant, it knows the right thing just to push that button so that you end up becoming reactive. And that might happen for a while, but as we grow in consciousness, grow is not the right word, but words are, it's really hard to find the right words in the pointer, they're just pointers. But grow in consciousness so that we no longer become triggered or triggered as much. You find that it lessens each time. The more awareness, the practice that we have, the times that we spend perhaps alone in meditation. Because when we're always with somebody during our spiritual practice, if you're always constantly with somebody, it doesn't give you that space and that time to reflect, to become still, and to just watch yourself. And what I've noticed and what I've seen, and I don't know if it's with everybody, but I know it was definitely in my case, fortunate enough to, we have our own places, our own apartments that are right across the hall from each other. We also have a summer home where we do spend time living in the same house, but we have each our own quarters. So it's really nice to have that space because, I don't know, awakening just requires a lot of space. And as we go through this whole process of, you could say, we can call it unwinding that which has bound us, so the thoughts that bind us, the emotions that bind us, and we give ourselves that space to really look at it and see, okay, I see it. Because if you're always with somebody, it's so much easier to get triggered. And it's easy to just spend your time with the attention on the other person. So it's nice to be able to give yourself that space, and maybe you don't have that luxury to be able to have separate quarters or separate suites or whatever you want to call it, homes. But you can carve out that time. It's almost like saying, okay, I need a time out here, and go for a walk. Have your partner go for a walk. It's interesting when you kind of look at the word alone and you break it up and you see it's all one. So we can have that, but it's interesting that we also need that alone time. There's a poet, I don't know, I think it might be Kabir, I'm not sure, but he writes about having space in your relationship, to have that space. So in other words, to have that time out, to carve that time where you can just be alone.